Welcome back to Factorio MSX Gigabase. Okay, I'll show you where I am. I'm over here at the iron plate 3 smelter facility, and there's one thing, I've been kind of looking at this for a little while, and there's one thing that I kind of really notice, and that is that we just aren't actually getting the level of ore into these furnaces that I was expecting. Our production numbers, I mean, that seems reasonable, but given that we should be getting sort of 50,000 more, it's not actually as reasonable as I was expecting. And it also depends on timing. So if we have a look at those production numbers over 10 minutes, it's actually a whole lot less. The blue, well, you see it bouncing around wildly, so there are times when we're getting supplied enough, and there's times when we are not really getting supplied enough, though that's actually really quite impressive right now. What am I trying to say? Is this one doing anything? It's doing a bit, so yeah, it is doing a bit. Basically, what I'm trying to say, guys, is I think I have messed up, and the the number of miners per train is not as large as it needs to be, which is why, I mean, these should be constantly getting filled. See how they're now, there's no miners there at all, no ore trains. There still is a bit of ore from the last train, but it is, yeah, it's gone basically. So that really is not adequate. I suppose this one's fully buffered now, is it? Yeah, so we're not going to see the full impact. But yeah, so I've been jumping around a bit, but what I'm basically saying is I don't think that I'm getting the performance out of this that I should, because my calculations for the number of trains required have undershot the mark. I made a mistake. Not in the equation, but in the interpretation of the 0.525. Let me take a coffee and I'll let you know what I mean. Basically, the 0.525, I interpreted that as how long it took per ore to be produced, as in half a second per ore, or just under 2 ore per second. It's actually the opposite. It is 0.525 ore per second. And when you calculate that out, it actually makes a 3.8 factor difference overall. So what I'm not going to rework all my calculations. I had 16, which was a round up from 15.3, I believe, and I based it on 20 trains, when in actual fact I've deployed 24. So I'm kind of throwing those numbers there because I want to accommodate the change, but I don't want to blow out the miners too much. So if we went with 15.3, we multiply that by 3.8, you're at about 58. If you divide by 1.2, because I'm 20% over, it's about 48. I guess we'll round that to 50 just to bring back that sort of rounding. So I actually need about 50 miners per train. So each one of these, where I've got 127 miners, I need about 400 for the number of trains that is supporting them. That's obviously not going to happen, so we are going to need to extend out to at least this one, and maybe even this one that is almost inexhaustible, 457 million. I think that's the richest I have on the map, probably by a, oh, the 374 is not too bad, 403. So, I mean, once you push up far enough, there's huge supplies of ore in this map. And it makes some of these little ones that I've been carefully clearing out just seem like a bit of a joke, really. So, first things first then, I need to get a bunch of miners and a bunch of speed modules. Do I happen to? I do, just down there. What I'm going to do is, what loadout do I have? I don't have any miners on that. What I'm going to do is I'll change my loadout and I'll rejoin you shortly. And back. I'm at the disconnection point. What I'm going to do first of all is just manually run backwards and forwards to these mines, since there's no good park up spot near them. And yeah, that's interesting. It's 4.8. Shouldn't be too long before it's expired. That's our engines from last time. Yeah, so I'll manually fill up with material and run over to these to fill them out a bit further and see how many trains each one can support. Then we will work out, we'll extend to this one and we'll see how much more we need to do after that. So I guess that means I'm probably carrying a bunch of stuff that I'm not going to need. We are not going to need inserters. We're not going to need rail at the moment. I won't need the other sorts of boxes. We might need those. We shouldn't need those, or those. I shouldn't need the generic patterns. What's that one? I might keep that one for a moment. Let's just pare down to that. Now what we mainly need are those guys, those guys, those guys, and a bunch of those guys. Let's start with that. Watch out for incoming trains. So, we're at about 128 or 9 miners in each of these locations. We need 200 for 4 trains, so that will be the first goal. And it will mean that we'll be depleting these a lot faster, so let us just see how many we've got here. Quick count, 127, so we need another 73. I should have sparse mining blueprints here. That is 63, so that is a large number of them in one go, assuming we can actually fit it all. Let's try and line it up a little bit. 1, 2. We will need a power pole to connect all of this. Oh, and they don't have modules yet. Which means that more or less does it, in fact, as long as we add a roboport up here and give it some power, and probably over here as well. Oops. Roboport. No, that's not going to do it. We need one. middle here. Oh, that's not powered. That's why that's not working. Okay. And these aren't powered. It's better. Let's see what it's like when... Okay, so over here, hopefully one more robo port can sort it out. We'll need to go about there, I think. So now we are using basically all 1200. Let's just do that test again with the delete everything. Uh, 203. So that's good for 4 trains. Is it likely that we can fit another 50 in here? There's a little bit of room, but I don't see another 50, so this one should be reduced to 4 trains. So let's come up to iron 12. Do the same sort of thing, see if we can get this up to 200. We should be able to. So we overlapped a little bit there, but that's okay. Let's see if I'm any better at doing this time. Oh, we're in the wrong network up here. Right, okay, that's bad. We need to get rid of that. This is the stone that we're trying to mine out. That's going to have to move. I don't want to be in the stones network. So we will have to find a way, which was actually a lot easier than expected. That will cover that one. So these are not covered by that anymore, but we still need to be very conscious of where we place it. We probably don't need that guy anymore. Let's just move this one in a whole lot. Sorted out that issue. Well, we're safe on this side. Up to that point there. We still have these guys that we need to get covered. We go there. Okay, so how many miners do we have here? 188, so we need 12 more. Okay, 12 more will be 4 lots of this one. I know there's a spot for them just here. Just need to make sure that they are actually powered. There we go. So this one's good for 4 as well. Let's leave it at that. This one over here, if we make the bottom active as well, we may have a chance to do slightly better than just 4 trains, 50 miners each. We have a handful of speed modules. We have a bunch of miners on us. Okay, what I will order is we will order in, say, 1,000 of those, 500 of those. 1,000, maybe 1,000's a little aggressive, 600. And then we may as well get a few more miners, because I just don't know how many we will need. Say 200, and maybe some more speed modules as well, another 500. Let's just order that. I don't know how good the supplies are in terms of some of those items, but let's order that for starters. Now, while we wait for that lot to turn up, I think we need to press on over here and build a 4 platform around this somewhere. So let's go back up there. Manual's what we want. Because we haven't exhausted the track supplies yet, so it's certainly something we can do. Now, it will be very annoying if one of these guys decides to go walkabout in the other network. I don't know what that does to train pathing. May have made it think about it. So we're doing 0.9 on trains already, which does seem a little excessive to me. Let's creep out ever so slowly. Wait for a gap like there, and we will shoot on through. Okay, so I'm thinking we need a well, we probably need to get rid of this radar because it's going to be in the way. This is how I explored the area originally, pushing out with radar towers. So we'll lose our visibility now, but that is going to have to be okay. We certainly don't want that there, so I'll get a straight section. So we need a little bit of length here so that trains going this way are clear of this intersection before we have another intersection. We probably want those and those as well. I can't wait for faster bots. Those bot speed improvements are just amazing construction tasks. So if we wanted our all-purpose, how does it look if we had it about here using InfiniZoom again? That would be sort of fine-ish, I guess. The shape of this is not perfect for our purposes of this facility. So yeah, I guess just down here is what we are going to run with. Let's get back to normal zoom. So where does a 4x2 put us at this point? Actually, let's get back out. So I think that is roughly where we want it to be. So let's get back up here. If we're tacking this on the end, we will want to change these signals. Although we're still going to want to change these signals, because I still haven't fixed up that bug in my blueprint. And in case we want to extend further in this direction. So that is the top part. Now, where does that put our... Puts it about there. That will do, actually. So this one is 113 and quite a decent size. It should accommodate... Well, would it accommodate 500? That's the question. That would be 10. I don't know if a 4 platform is actually good enough for 10. You need some power. Let me just see if I get my sparse mining. So huge has 307. So that is basically a 6 train. Yeah, that's basically 6 trains. Before I lay it down, I think I will do that. I don't want this nonsense getting in our way. Maybe I will go through and speed module it up. Well, let's see if we can get rid of... Let's see what we can fit here. We may need to push out to another mine. Another source. Got a 245 there, we have a 265 here, and we have that one up there. If we did go to the 265, I think I would turn this, bring it over and then down, or over, like so, and over. Might ultimately be what we have to do. What's production numbers doing now? Absolutely nothing, because this doesn't have any demand anymore, but we did need to do this. You might have to take my word for it. Yes, I'm thinking more and more this will be a 300. I've got 300, so maybe we get it up to 400, so it's a proper 8. An 8 facility. No, that doesn't work very well. That doesn't work very well. I'll place that in there, remove these guys because they're just an artifact of our original. At least these have speed modules already. Control L. That is 422. Is there another 80 room in here? There probably is. Should let us do 10. I think I'll try that. I'll try and get another 80 in here. I think we have probably gone on long enough though, so I'll show you it at the beginning of the next episode. Yeah, that will do us for now. We made a mistake. The important thing is not that mistakes are made, but that you recognize them and you fix them up in a timely manner and then move on. It'll be fine. I will get this all up and running for next episode, and we can return to what's probably more exciting than fixing up blunders, which will be science. See you then, guys. Can't wait. Bye bye for now.